The transition doula. Well, welcome for your interest in hearing more about it. That's great. The transition doula stems from the idea of a death doula, one who is, say, on the side, in a certain aspect, on the side, present in transitions in human life, whether that is in birth, as in, say, next to the midwife, or a death doula being available to support the one that is crossing over, that is passing on. And so why is that so interesting to take a look at and work with? Well, the opportunities to support are probably the main inspiration that I want to get into this, except from the fact that it's totally inspired, given to me, that it at this point in time comes to me. So the death doula, I don't know about you, but you probably have people in your life that are transitioning or have transitioned from the earthly plane into what you could call physical death. But see, the physical death part is then something that is not the real occurrence. It is what you see. Suddenly the body is dead. But that's not the end of the story. That is not what actually occurred. That was your observation of it. Now this is already a very important part. This is just of you sitting next to one who is passing on. The one that is passing on, you could say, is in a moment, in a phase of his so-called existence, life, where he has lots of opportunities, in fact, to awaken. Now he comes to the point where he doesn't have anything to lose when he comes into an acceptance of the place where he finds himself. Like, yeah, whatever happened in your life, you can't take it with you. Whatever you possessed, you cannot take that with you. The relationships that you had will, say, come to an end in the way that you were used to it. But that's not the end of the story. So, like I said, there's lots of opportunities to discover that what would happen if I let go of that? Can I already practice that before I even pass on? And then I say, yes, of course, that is possible. You can very well do that. You can practice handing everything over, letting everything go, leaving your concerns, leaving your ideas about your family, leaving your ideas about the world and all this. You can leave that behind because, in fact, you do that all the time anyway once you really get started in your transformational journey. So it is, in fact, something that we learn to do. Releasing your mind, we say, or letting go of ideas of this world in order to, say, give sufficient space into your consciousness for a different experience to come to you. Whether that be an experience of light, of love, of extension, of ascension, of resurrection, all of that, yes, absolutely. So that's an important part. So practicing that with whoever is ready to do that, even on the deathbed, would be a perfect occasion, would be really helpful to do so. Now this is just one example of what I'm actually sharing with you for inspiration to be aware of the function you have, not as much as a carer or a nurse sitting next to someone, but more like, no, you have so much to give, and in any situation that can be used and will be used if you allow that to occur. But you might not realize it, what is possible. So this, in that sense, this transition doula classes are a support and an inspiration to open that up, to like so wide, in fact, that you see that everyone is in transition. We're all here in a temporal setup. We're all here in learning to let go of any kind of holding on to the temporal. So this goes deeply, very wide into existence. And by taking time, by taking another look at it, looking at it in a different way, or opening up ideas, in fact, to start getting creative with it, is very inspiring and very beautiful. And yeah, this stems from partially from my experience as being in an awakening experience, finding myself taking care of people as a nurse, as a care practitioner, you could say. As a nurse, I was with people that were in a transitioning process of leaving the earthly plane behind and going into a whole different experience of themselves. And that to me was like a perfect moment to, at least for many at least, come into a real relationship before they pass on. So at least they had a real relationship where there's real communication, where you really recognize your oneness with your brother, and having that experience, feeling that connectedness just before you pass on. Now, isn't that a beautiful idea, a beautiful inspiration? Now, this is just one part. So, getting creative with it. I nursed a person who I actually was in a creative process of preparing with her her funeral, and doing that in a creative way by making probably around 100 butterflies, papier-mâché butterflies. So it was for weeks. It was a daily activity to go and make them, to paint them together with her, going through the process of what happens, where we're going, what happens when you die, what is your consciousness, and how to deal with the family, and all this. And it became a beautiful project. So everyone on her funeral, everyone got to get one butterfly. And see, this is just a tiny little symbol, you could say, or a tiny, it appears to be a tiny creative project, but actually it was very helpful to have something to do, to organically get ready for any transition. So that's where it was also so beautiful for. Now this, like I said, there are just a couple of examples of how you can be inspired going through a process like any transition, really, like becoming from being a person suddenly becoming a mother or a father. There's also a transition. You give birth to yourself as a mother. You give birth to yourself as a father. And see, there's another aspect that you can easily include into this transition doula activity. So this was a short introduction to the transition doula. I think it's a lovely term. We use it just to characterize this new series of classes where I'm going to invite you wholeheartedly for. I hope to see you in one of them. You can do them in two different ways. Like one is online, a class setup, or you can do them individually, like you will have one-on-ones with me to go through the process of recognizing the transition doula in yourself. All right. Well, I hope to see you soon. Thank you for everything, and bye for now.